They hate the boycott. Welcome back to the most controversial commentary channel. Today we're going to be talking about Tokaliz reply or comment or announcement, whatever you want to call it, in the Creatures of Sonaria wiki fandom page. And in here they wrote a lot of things, and since Tokaliz has helped me a lot and they're very good to talk to and very explanative with things, if I'm not even sure if that's a word, but they're very good at explaining things and they're very straightforward with what they have to say, and sometimes they add like TLDRs and stuff like that. So I love Tokaliz as a moderator, and so I'm gonna read the entire thing. I'm not gonna skip over and stuff, and yeah. So the announcement thing is called Boycott Awareness, and this is like a few days ago, right? And they said, what is a boycott? Hey everyone, I know boycotts are a current hot topic that has recently been removed off the wiki, but I would like to take this time to be educational about what boycotting means and how it may affect not only the game but other games you may like from Twin Atlas/Sonar Studios as well. If you're lazy and don't want to read my thesis, there's a TLDR at the bottom. See, this is what I like about Tokaliz. It's just like, look, you don't want to read this? That's fine. Here's a TLDR. Even I can't do that. Sometimes I'm just like, well, you don't want to read? Good for you then. Get fuck off. But no, they're like, you don't want to read this long thing? Oh, that's fine. Here, I have something to accommodate you. See, this is what I like about them. Look, I'm not a bootlicker. Usually I would insult mods and whatnot, but they're just helpful, alright? So moving on. They said, boycotting is a peaceful protesting, so any arrogant and ignorant people going out there yelling out boycott and attacking mods, sending death threats and stuff, you're not boycotting, you're just being an asshole. Alright, so boycotting is a peaceful protesting method in the abstention. My gosh, what's wrong with my English today? Boycotting is a peaceful protesting method in the abstention from a product, person, organization, or country. Boycotts are most often seen for larger big brand companies such as McDonald's, Starbucks, Puma, Disney, etc. The main point of a boycott is not to engage or buy the product you're boycotting. You're specifically trying not to invest funds into the product, so it does not support the main company who benefits from this. You don't buy that Big Mac and McDonald's doesn't get your 11.99. So what does that have to do with Creatures of Sonaria? The fact that someone has to explain what boycotting is just really shows how retardedly lazy our community has become. Like, search it up. You have Google at the palm of your hand. You have information that has been passed down to generations. Look at it, you lazy bunch. Anyways, when it's clear that some of the reception from the current Alice's event was not well received, clarifications aside, some individuals have decided to boycott some of Sonar Studio/Twin Atlas titles such as Creatures of Sonaria, Horse Life, etc. Look, I'm not sure about the Horse Life thing, but COS, yes, because it is the main income of the studio, right? I know like the other games are also big, but COS is their main income. So if we attack that like COS, we get all of it. And I think they also know that. It's like a domino effect. So, instead of wasting your time on the other games, just focus on one. Even so, I would like to clarify on how these boycotts can be harmful to the game. Oh, there you go. Can be harmful to the games you love, and why some of these boycotts are not engaging on some of the things they promise. To put it simply, and as previously mentioned, the point of the boycott is not to invest in the company, to not buy the product, and to not support the titles by any means. No in-game purchases, no game passes, etc. If the boycott were to succeed, the developers, artists, managers who work on these games cannot be paid and would affect their livelihoods. So this is where we're gonna have conflicting views, and I'm gonna be straightforward with this, right? I'm not gonna be like, oh Lord, this is pity, whatever, I'm gonna be straightforward. I'm gonna be harsh with my opinions. If you guys were that afraid of like your livelihoods, your artists, your staff livelihoods, maybe you shouldn't have made, very bad events. And I'm not just blaming it on the heads. Okay, I hate the fact that many people constantly tell me, hey, don't blame the tiny guys, like blame the big guys. No, the tiny guys are what builds up the big guys. So if I'm just blaming the big guys, they still have legs to stand on. And that's you. So these artists, developers, managers, whatever, right? You guys are not doing a good job. That's why this is happening to begin with. And I know you can't please everyone, and we're not saying you have to please everyone, but you don't have to also make everyone hate you, you know? I'm just saying this, yeah. So if you are afraid of it, not getting paid and not getting enough money to pay, these people, you guys should have done better, right? And this is just my opinion. I'm just being straightforward. I don't know how your business system structure hierarchy works. Just straightforward. You don't want your livelihoods ruined? Be the better person, step up and do a better job at what you're tasked to do. And if the heads are being bad, then do your own protest. I don't know. If you're scared of your livelihood, maybe do a better job. So moving on, they said, I understand that some boycotts says not to attack the developers as a result of these boycott, but I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's what a boycott does. That is true. That is unfortunate. Casualties will happen like this. You know, people are gonna insult each other, and we can't really stop it. I can stop it. You can stop it. All I can say is please don't attack anyone. It's not worth it. All right. So more going on. Unlike companies such as McDonald's or Puma, who can handle a boycott, being massive multi-billionaire companies, Twin Atlas / Sona Studios is a small company with a sizable team, but not multi-billionaire level with thousands of workers, multiple HQs across the globe, etc. Boycotting can have serious ramifications that would not only affect this game, but other titles who had nothing to do with this event, such as Drake Adventures, Horse Life, and etc. See, now this is what I mean by why this boycotting should happen and is effective. Because like they said, if we boycott big things, there's no big changes. But if we boycott this and it is genuinely gonna affect them, that means that's gonna be effective, and that's something we should do. See, look, I get it. Like, it's damaging to your paychecks and whatnot, but this is your own doing, if I'm honest. And I don't mean to blame this on you specifically, Tokaliz. I'm blaming it on the entire team and all the people surrounding it and whatnot. You did this. This happened because of you, all of you, yours fault. The people in charge of these events, and because of this, you know, this has to happen. And because we know that you aren't a sizable team, you cannot ignore the boycott. And this boycott, it will have action. It will make a change. It will make a stand, and you will notice it. So this has to happen for you to actually do better at it. So we're not doing this out of spite. I'm not doing this out of spite. I genuinely wouldn't mind stopping the boycott if it gets like chaotic and spiteful. But until then, and if it is righteous just the way it is, I would let it happen, and I would continue suggesting and encouraging my viewers or whatever to join the protest, join the boycott, whatever, because it does give a big impact. Like you said, it's a big punch. It packs a punch, and we want to do that. We want to make a big impact. Now, moving on, she says, I'm speaking on this slightly personal level as well as someone who works for Sona Studios / Twin Atlas. I'm not going to overstate my salary as that's no one's business, fair. And everyone making claims about wow, these people are so rich and have so much money is a bit invasive, personally. Fair, very fair, very, very fair. But I am able to pay my rent and buy my groceries thanks to Sona Studios / Twin Atlas, and I'm grateful to have a fun job that can provide me enough money to live comfortably. Again, I have nothing against you, Tokaliz, but this feels low-key like, hey, you know, please don't do this. If this doesn't exist, if this game doesn't pay me, I can't pay my rents, I can't buy my groceries, and I can't live comfortably. So that's what I'm understanding with this last paragraph, because this is honestly, even though this is kind of sort of relevant, I don't think you should have brought it up, because now it makes it feel like you're kind of sort of guilt tripping us to not do it because we would intervene and ruin your lives. But at the same time, we can't feel bad for you. We just can't. And I'm not saying this to be heartless or cold or whatever. I'm just saying this in a genuine sense. If we feel bad for you or the continuous range of other staff members, we're never gonna succeed. It's like you're getting scared of stepping on ice and stepping on thin ice. But if we don't step on this ice, we'll never go across. So we need to do this, even if it like intervenes with your life being comfortable. We have to do this so the studio gets better. And I don't know why I'm preaching this as if it's an actual protest. Well, it is to me at least. So, for the greater good. And that's why I'm making posters. Alright, TLDR, this is what I like about her, right? TLDR, not to disappoint everyone who's advocating for a boycott on COS and other TA/SS titles over the LSS event, while also claiming not to attack developers and people who work on these games, is sort of false. Funds for COS and other titles are shared to help pay the people who work on your favorite games and future titles, and advocating/participating in the boycott directly can sabotage the livelihoods of these people. Then these people should not have made the game so bad to begin with then, right? If you guys are so worried of your livelihood, then do better. And that's why we're attacking your livelihood to begin with, because you're not doing any better. See the logic here? And continuing on, they say, I'm typing this in a general awareness message, as you understand what the boycott does when it's affecting a smaller company and not the big brands who can afford to lose several million buckaroonies. What? Okay, I'm not going to convince you out of not boycotting. I mean, you kind of are trying to do this by bringing up your livelihood and whatnot. You are kind of guilt tripping people into saying, like, you know what, I feel bad. But yeah, if people are sold on it, everyone is entitled to their own opinions. Thank you very much. Even though you guys do block and ban and shut and, mute and, you punish people even though they are voicing their opinion. Some I have seen aren't even very critical. They're just voicing their opinion and they got banned. So I'm just saying, entitled to their opinions, but not like letting them speak, sounds very, very bad. And continuing on, you said you do not have to like the LSS event. That's true. You don't have to give the game any of your money if you don't want to. That's very true. And we should start doing that. Hell, you don't even have to like Creatures of Sonaria, which would be a little funny if you didn't, since we're on the COS wiki page. That's also funny. And if you are an absolute die-hard Dragon Adventure fan, but absolutely hate COS and want to do something to advocate boycotting it and other games, read what I have to say and reconsider. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I'm saying. You're guilt-tripping us. You're guilt-tripping us into feeling bad because you just said that you're not trying to convince anyone and you're saying, hey, read what I said, reconsider. That is trying to convince someone. And like, you are trying to change perspective, and which is fair. It is your company. You want to get your paychecks and you want to live a comfortable life. That's completely fair. And I'm not gonna say like, oh, you nasty for this, whatever, right? That's fair. But again, shouldn't have just made continuous shitty events for us to play. Boring, horrible mechanics, just bugs and glitches everywhere, and uneven and whatnot. So much of these. If you are scared of this, and if you don't want your games to fall apart, then do better on your part. Stop telling us, do better yourself. For crying out loud, you're the company. We're not. We're the players. We're what's giving you this comfortable life. Don't thank the company. Don't thank the people you work for. Thank us, the people who gives you this money to begin with. Thank us. We are the ones who's giving you these. Yes, they are the ones who's paying your paychecks, but my point still stands, okay? So, the last paragraph she says, I'm not saying this for everyone to throw all their money at the game, but just consider my post before spreading stuff everywhere on social media. Thank you for reading. Have a splendid day. My goodness. Well, what can I say? She just has to think with words. But yeah, no. Hashtag Creatures of Sonaria, a boycott, or hashtag Save Sonaria, because we have to do this. The game is falling apart right before our eyes, and it's just getting worse day by day. They have these little updates that is interesting and fun, but there are always major updates that are just absolutely disappointing. And I think enough is enough. We can't let this topic die. We have to keep on doing this, and by all means, go crazy, but don't be chaotic. Don't be a nuisance. Don't break rules. Just join the boycott. And I know most of you aren't gonna. Then become free to play. Just stop supporting them. Share this video. I need people to join this protest. 1,000, 2,000 isn't gonna cut it. I need more. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, folks.